Hi, good morning to one and all. In previous lectures, we discussed about the solidification of metals. That is, what are the different types of solidification methods for pure metals and alloys itself. In this lecture, we are discussing about the special casting process. In special casting process, there are different types of special casting process are there. Up to now, we discussed the what is casting process, what is pattern and types of patterns, gating system, core, and different elements in the casting process. These are all nothing but normal traditional casting process. In traditional casting process, there are the accuracy and dimensions of the casting object will be reduced. But in case of a special casting process, these difficulties will overcome by using the special casting process. That is, the casting in sand molds is economical and gives a good results for many applications where dimensional accuracy and surface finish requirements are not too stringent, that is closed, and the casting wall thickness are not too small, as in case of traditional process. But in case of special casting process, all these requirements we can meet very accurately. Next, these are all there are many applications in which it is desired to achieve better surface finish, finer details, thinner walls, better strength, and faster production rate compared to the traditional process. These are the main advantages by using the special casting process. Special casting process have been developed to meet these requirements. Next, some of the special casting process are: first one, shell molding, investment casting, pressure die casting, centrifugal casting, ceramic molding, CO2 process. Next, stir casting. All these are the special casting process. There are many different types of special casting process are there. These are the main types of special casting process. Coming to first one, that is shell molding. Shell molding is mainly used to manufacture that or prepare the thin walled structures. Here it is mostly suitable for thin walled articles. Next, it consists of making a mold that has two or more thin shells, like a pot consisting of thermosetting resin bonded. In this, we are using as a material, that is shell material, as a thermosetting resin bonded sand. What is the purpose need of thermosetting resin bond means? Whenever we supply heat, it will get stick to the pattern. Whenever we increase the temperature, what happens means it will stick to the stick to the object where the temperature will be increased. Here the silica sand is mixed with synthetic resin to form a mixture. This mixture must be dry and free flowing. Next, it is the diagrammatic representation of shell molding. Here we are using a sand resin bond in a box. First we have to prepare a box that consists of sand resin mixture. It may mix with sand, and we have to place a hot pattern over the box. After that, the box will tilt into 180 degrees. The hot pattern will come at bottom side, and the resin will dump on the hot pattern. After some time, it will stick to the hot pattern, and it create like a shell. After that, we have to remove the shell from the pattern. We have to place the shells in a symmetrical way, and we have to create a mold. In that mold, we have to pour a molding required material in that. Like this, we have to prepare a shell mold. It is about shell mold. Next, coming to investment casting. Investment casting is also known as lost wax casting. It is mainly used to prepare the where the metals cannot be machined by using the machine tools, and it is to prepare the very small particles. It is very simple to prepare. Here the investment casting uses a wax pattern which is coated with refractory material to form a mold. First we have to prepare a pattern by using the wax material. After that it should be dipped into a slurry that is known as refractory material. After that we have to dry that pattern. After that we have to remove the wax material from the pattern. After that we have to dip pour a required pouring material into the pattern. We get the required casting object. But already we discussed in the introduction class, there are different types of patterns, that is expandable pattern and expandable mold, and expandable mold and permanent pattern and permanent mold without the pattern. But investment casting comes under the expandable pattern and expandable mold. Here the pattern also expandable. Next, the wax is then melted out and the mold cavity is filled with molten metal. Next, cast metal is cooled and the slurry broken to get the castings. Next, it can be used for high precision complex shapes, for high melting point metals are readily machinable. These are the main application of investment casting. Next, steps involved in investment casting, that is pattern creation, mold creation, pouring, cooling, casting removal, finishing. These are the different steps involved in the investment casting. It is the diagrammatic representation of casting. In first, we have to prepare the pattern by using the wax material. After that, we have to arrange the patterns in a tree-like structure. After this tree is dipped into the refractory slurry. After that, it will coat by coating the required thickness. It should be by removing the wax material. By heating the pattern, it creates a mold cavity. In that mold cavity, we have to pour the required molten material. After that, we have to by breaking the mold, we have to with pressure. Next, the pressure is generally obtained by compressed air or hydraulically. Next, the pressure varies from 70 to 5000 bars and it maintained while casting sulfides. Okay. Next, it is externally applied high pressure is high velocity is used to the force the molten metal in the neck into the mold cavity. It is the application of compressed air or hydraulic pressure. Next, this process is called the simply die casting. Next, classification of die casting. There are two types of die casting process are there, which are under, that is hot chamber die casting and cold chamber die casting. Coming to hot chamber die casting. Hot chamber die casting machine can produces about 60 or more casting of up to 20 kg each per hour and several hundred castings per hour for single impression casting weighing a few grams. It is the hot chamber casting. In that we have to manufacture a 20 kg up to maximum weight, and for hour we have to produce up to 60 parts. It is the by using these we have to create the high production rate by using the hot chamber die casting. It is mainly used in injection molding castings. Okay, the melting unit of setup comprises an integral part of the process. Generally the melting melting will done separately, but in case of hot chamber die casting, the melting unit integral to the process. Next, the process may be gooseneck or air injection type, submerged plunger type, air blown or gooseneck type as shown figure. Okay, Here it consists of refractory material and the metal pot and firebox and burner. By using burner, we have to supply the heat energy into the refractory metal. Due to this energy, heat energy, the metal, the raw material in the pot will be heated. Due to the heat, it will convert it into liquid form. By using the air, high pressure air, we have to supply this high pressure air into the gooseneck. The molten material in the gooseneck will be pumped into the die. Here we are using, it is known as the fixed die or die casting machine. It consists of two dies, that is stationary and fixed, movable one. The left side is known as stationary and right side is known as movable. By using piston and cylinder arrangement, the die will be movable from right to left board. Whenever during the casting process, the two dies will attach together. After that, by using some clamps, we have to hold these two dies in a required position. After that, we have, by using the plunger gooseneck, we have to, by pumping the compressed air into the gooseneck, the molten metal inside the gooseneck will pump it to the into the mold cavity by using the nozzle. Due to this, the mold cavity will fill by using the molten metal. After the solidification, we have to remove the both dies, and we will, by using ejector pins. By using ejector pins, we get the solidified object. This process is known as hot chamber die casting. These are the functions, that is, hold two dies off finally together. Next, closing the die. Next, injecting molten metal into die, opening the die, ejecting the casting out the die. It is the construction and working of the die already we discussed. All these points are the construction and working of the die casting, that is hot chamber die casting. Next, cold chamber die casting. The main difference between the hot chamber and cold chamber die casting is in hot chamber die casting, the melting unit is integral part of the process, but in case of cold chamber die casting, the melting unit is separate from the process of die casting. In this process, the cold chamber die casting process differs from hot chamber casting as in following respects. That is, melting unit is generally not an integral part of the chamber die casting machine. Next, and molten metal is brought and poured into the die casting machine with help of ladles, and piston injects metal under high pressure into die cavity. Next, for this reason, a cold chamber die casting process requires more pressure than the hot chamber die casting. In that case, here 200 to 2000 bars pressure applied during the hot chamber casting process. Next, high pressure tends to increase the fluidity of the molten metal, causing relatively lower temperature. Next, lower temperature of molten metal accompanied with high injection pressure will produce the casting of dense structure, sustained dimensional accuracy, and free from blowholes. These are the main advantages of the cold chamber die casting. It is the diagrammatic representation of cold chamber die casting. It is the process. First, we have to pour the molten metal into the die by using the piston, that is known as ram. Here, the two halves, that is fixed and movable, are closed. Here, the gap is known as mold cavity. Here, this part is known as mold cavity. This mold cavity is filled by using the molten metal poured in the channel. By using ram, this molten metal is injected into the mold cavity. Okay, by using this process, we have to prepare the casting objects. This is the after filling the molten metal into the mold cavity. Observed in this gap, the mold cavity is filled by the molten material. After some time, the material gets solidified. We have to collect the pot from the dies by using the ejector pins. The ejector pins will eject the casted solidified object from the die. Next, centrifugal casting. Centrifugal casting uses a permanent mold that is rotated about its axis and speed, that is 300 to 3000 rpm, and the molten metal is poured. Due to the centrifugal force, the poured molten metal will stick to the walls of the die. By using this, we have to create the centrifugal casting. Mainly it is used to prepare the cylindrical objects. Next, types of centrifugal casting. There are three different types, that is true centrifugal casting, semi-centrifugal casting, and centrifuge casting. Coming to true centrifugal casting. True centrifugal casting is mainly used to prepare the cylindrical objects. Prepare a cylindrical mold is made to rotate on its own axis speed, such as the metal being poured is thrown out of the surface of the mold cavity. Observed in this diagram, it consists of driver pulley and mold and the free rotor. Whenever we give the power supply to the driver rotor, it will rotate the mold. It will rotate the mold. It is the mold eye. It is the free pulley and it is the driver. Whenever this pulley rotated, the driver pulley is rotated. It is the driver pulley and it is the driver. It is the mold and is driver and is the free pulley. Okay. Here, whenever by using the ladle, we are pour the molten metal into the mold cavity through the pouring basin. It is the pouring basin. The cylinder will rotate about the cylindrical axis. Due to this centrifugal action, the poured molten metal will stick to the inner walls of the mold. By using this, we have to create the casting object to prepare the cylindrical objects. The thickness of the object is mainly depend on the quantity of the poured molten material. Okay. Next, coming to semi-centrifugal casting. Semi-centrifugal casting is used to prepare the gears or wheels like the spots. We have to prepare the centrifugal casting. In case of true centrifugal casting, in between the central object there is no material in center of the object. But in case of semi-centrifugal casting, we have to create just one center hole is there for inserting the rod or shaft in the gears or wheels. By using semi-centrifugal casting, we have to prepare the wheels and gears or like objects. It is about the diagrammatic representation of semi-centrifugal casting. It consists of pouring basin. Next, hub core. Hub core is used to prepare the hollow object for inserting the shaft. Next, strainer core. Strainer core is used to prepare one groove, like already we discussed in course. It is used to prepare the one groove on the top surface of the object. Next, it is the drag box and it is the coke and it is the molding sand. It is the shaft. It is attached to the motor and it is the casting. Okay. Whenever it is rotated in about the vertical axis, during the rotation, we have to fill the poured molten metal into the mold cavity. During the centrifugal action, the material will fill in the mold cavity. After that, we will get the solidified object. Next, coming to centrifuge casting. It is the last type of this special casting process, that is, parts not symmetrical about any axis of rotation may be cast in this group of molds. In previous two cases, the two In two cases, the casting is in symmetrical way. In case of gear or cylinder, but in case of centrifugation, it is not symmetrical. We have to prepare the small circular objects in a circular way. We have to create the mold cavity in circular way. Next, the axis of the mold and that of rotation do not coincide with each other, so that molten metal poured into the mold is distributed to these cavities by centrifugal force. Next, the setup is revolved around the center of the circle that induce the pressure on the metal it molds. Next, mold is designed with pot cavities located away from the axis. In the center, we are not placed any molds due to the centrifugal action. All the material will flow around the from the center. Observed in diagram. Here it is the sectional view of the centrifugal casting. It consists of drag box, scope box. Next, in the center of rotation, and it is the pouring basin. From this pouring basin, we have to pour the molten metal, and it is the central screw. From this, the pouring material will reach to the molds. In this mold, we have to using a central core. It is help to create the hollow object. By using this, we have to create these small cylindrical objects by using the centrifuge casting. Okay, thank you.